LP with the super chat says, the customer's morals. I don't wear Gucci, for example. Ye was one. I'm sorry. Ye was the one that said he faked the backpack stuff and that he likes the ignorant rap more. So okay, that was a Talib talking point. This is what I would say to that. If if that was true, you don't think Talib used him for beats? How many people in Kanye's career used him for beats? You don't think the Backpackers used him to somewhat cross over to the other side of the mainstream? You think that Kanye West working with Jay-Z had nothing to do with the Roots doing Jay-Z's Unplugged when those two factions back in those days didn't really rock with each other? I mean, for the people who grew up in the 90s, you know that there was a mainstream MC and there was the backpack MC. It was two different worlds. Kanye bridged that gap. And if he quote unquote used them or whatever, they used him as well. And Talib specifically has his biggest hit, biggest song, one of his best songs, and some of his other best songs, Gorilla Monsoon, produced by this guy. And that's just the real. Y'all saw the Netflix special. Y'all saw that, you know what I'm saying, Talib was around trying to get beats. He was. Most Def was Yasin, excuse me, was around saying glowing things about Ye. Pharrell was around saying glowing things about Ye. Did you get any testimonial from Talib talking about how great he think Ye is as a MC? Or was he around trying to get beats? If you can't be used, you're useless. They used each other. I don't like that one-way stuff like he used the Backpackers. What did he get out of that?
So, can I just tell you something honestly?
Yeah.
I felt like everybody was using Kanye to a degree until I heard Common on B. I felt Common on B was the first time that I heard Kanye do something that Kanye wanted to do out of the love for music and out of the love for his city and out of the love for the guy that put the city on the map. So if you want to talk about Kanye being used by the music industry, I felt like he was literally being used by every artist that wanted a track for him up until I heard B. It's an organic and truly authentic piece of work in that regard to me, whereas everything else before that feels like they want to make Ye a great placements beats producer, including on the Blueprint, Mike.
I'm glad you mentioned Common, though, because I feel like you want to talk about, quote unquote, using backpackers. He gave back to the backpackers more than anybody from the outside, if you want to say he's an outsider, with what he did, with what he's done with Common's career moving forward. How could you even talk about that he is using backpackers? He took the lead backpacker and made him a superstar, and he's still riding off of that.
Look, he took the underground MVP and made him an overground MVP.
Exactly. I guess we're going to leave that part out, huh?
We're just going to leave that out.
We're going to conveniently leave that out because we don't like the individual. I see.
That's what I keep trying to say. Is like, you see how people keep trying to slight like who he was and what he really like brought to the table, musically speaking, even early on. Like when he gives you these pieces that like really contribute, you don't say anything. When he gives money, you don't say anything. When he says something that you don't like, you sit up there and want to blasphemize him. No, I'm not a fan of his, but it's like you need to separate your personal feelings from business-wise what is going on. And whether you like him or not, and I want people to understand this, Mike, you understand it's like people got some nerve pulling up here talking about, well, he's only worth $400 million. Do you know what $400 million worth of collateral, what type of money that will get you? Right. You know what $400 million worth of liquid capital will get you?
Coop, that's not even a talking point. I mean, come on.
When you have $400 million, the institutions have to make sure they have enough capital to finance you, not the other way around. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying?
And let's just be real.
I know you understand what I'm saying. When you have $400 million, do you understand financing is literally just a day away?
Let's just be 100% real. Anybody
you can go get $1 billion, Mike. You can go get $4 billion.
Do you think? Because all right, he says, I think he said he was worth $11 billion, but when Forbes
let's have a business conversation for the people in the chat. You know what $400 million gets you in business, since the people want to have a business conversation to make it seem like him not, he can be a billionaire tomorrow again with the $400 million. You understand that's how business really works when you have that type of equity.
But cool. Let's just be real though. If Forbes said he had 2.5 or whatever they said, he had $6 billion. Do you really think? Let's just think. Does
Go get
anybody
popped.
truly believe that somebody who has been able to earn $2.5 billion in this industry is gonna go out there and do something that is gonna knock him down to 400 million in a week? Do y'all really believe that? Do y'all really believe that? It takes
This
a
is what
bit,
I mean about people are so
and
dismissive
again,
of him, Mike.
and
People are
again,
so dismissive of him. If Michael Jackson and Prince were doing this, be like, that nigga's not doing that. That nigga too smart for that. But it's Kanye, be like, oh, this
no,
nigga
I
dumb.
remember, and again, this might be conspiracy theory, Mike, but I remember even my parents, they were telling me Michael Jackson was broke. And I was sitting here like, that doesn't make
Nigga,
sense.
please.
I'm like, that doesn't, they, once again, listening to the media, because for the people who are old enough to remember, they used to say these same things about Michael Jackson. And as soon as he dropped dead, oh, he was worth hundreds of, whatever. You know what I mean? And it's like, come on, man. Don't. So all I'm saying is, don't take those things for face value. And
Here's what I want people to
let's be
understand.
logical here.
I want to break something down, and I'm glad somebody brought this up. When it comes to the black dollar, I want people to understand how our dollar gets treated when you cycle it into, especially the entertainment, fashion, sports sphere. Mm-hmm. What I would like to call the irregular job sphere, Mike. Right. Like the jobs where you're never going to work a 9 to 5. As a matter of fact, from 9 to 5, you might be asleep. The irregular job sphere, fashion, sports, entertainment, movie, film, those spheres. Okay, Mike, in those spheres, they treat the black dollar like an offshore account. Okay? And when I mean they treat the money like an offshore account, is that they'll take their money and funnel it somewhere else and let it matriculate and then bring it back like it's their money. And black people have to stop buying that lie in business. You get what I'm saying? You have to understand your black dollar gets treated like an offshore account by this white community so that they can literally re-siphon it and take it, matriculate it, and bring it back as their own. It's the new fucking slave trade. Now stop being foolish and saying this shit and understand what's really going on. You feel what I'm saying? Like people are being outright foolish. You don't understand how your black dollar gets treated by certain factions. It gets treated like an offshore account, as in out of sight, out of mind, not in reality on the books until they bring the books back and make it their own. That's exactly what Kanye is talking about. Stop acting like if you are a black person in America that you do not understand that. If the people in the chat that are saying the things that are saying do not understand that, your business acumen is not high.
I think that it is, it would be foolish
it is
of
low,
us.
And you need help. Coop can coach you the fuck up.
But Coop, I just think it's foolish for us to doubt the knowledge that a person who's been able to accomplish these things has, and doubt the intelligence. And I know the media tell people one thing, but contrary to popular belief, you have to be a pretty smart person to become a billionaire. It doesn't happen for a lot of people. You have to be a very smart person.
You're either born into it. You're born into it, or you make it happen.
You don't just stumble upon $1 billion contract. It doesn't happen that way. And so for somebody who's been able to amass that in the entertainment industry, for that matter, because that almost never happens, they have to be a pretty smart person. So all I'm doing and the things that I'm saying is I'm giving this individual who's been able to accomplish these things the benefit of the doubt. Not to mention that over the past 20 years, he's shown us a lot of things that we didn't think were going to work.